National Signing Day was yesterday, and we're already talking about a new commitment for the next recruiting class. And it's Sullivan Garvin, a big offensive lineman from Michigan. Folks, before we dive into this commitment for the Fighting Irish, hit the thumbs up on this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and of course, head over to blueandgold.com for much more coverage of this commitment. 6'6", 300 pounds as a high school junior, Mr. Tim Hyde, listed as an interior offensive lineman, the number 396 overall player, number 37 interior lineman in America. Very early rankings. We'll see where it goes from here. I would imagine he'll end up being an industry ranking 4-star. But Tim, you're an offensive line junkie, so let's pop on Garvin's film. Tell me what you see in looking at his tape.
Yeah, the first thing that pops out is he is tall and long, and he's got really good feet. Really good feet. You know, some of the guys he's blocking are little guys, and he's just mauling them and whatnot. But I just like to look at his, his measurements, his footwork, the way he's, gets in a stance and things of that nature. And he's got a lot of really good traits. So really like him. Great stance, pads over the toes. Big fan of that with offensive linemen. Good knee bender. And then with offensive linemen, when you look at them, you always want to look at their strike. They play with leverage, meaning footwork. He's got some reach plays out here where he's getting outside and reaching guys, and his feet are constantly moving. And when it comes to finish, he'll just throw you around. He's a big dude. He instantly reminded me of some of the guys obviously in the 25 class when you look at just the natural size that he brings. So really good footwork on some of these. There's one play, God, I can't remember the time stamp on it, where his hands are inside, and that's just really good. He's not a grabber, he's not a reacher, and things of that nature. And then lastly, just another little quick note I had on him is you see him in space a lot. So it's not all down blocks, just a 300-pounder just mauling some guy in the B gap. You see him out in space moving, which is a rarity a lot of times with some of these big high school tackles. So it's nice to see him do that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, at that size, should he be moving like that? I mean,
Yeah.
goodness gracious, he is big. Again, yeah, left tackle probably projects on the inside, Tim. That's what he's listed at. Is that what you see?
Oh, sure. I mean, I could easily see him moving inside. He's like a Sullivan Absher type of a guy.
Yeah.
Size-wise, Absher, obviously great film, was an offensive tackle. He's played tackle guard for Notre Dame. So, sure, I could totally see him figuring out what's best for him as far as that sweet spot for him to play out. But he's got some, just right there. See his elbows? When offensive linemen have elbows in, man, number one, they're strong. They're really strong in bench and military press and things of that nature, because you want to keep your hands in and tight to you and explode. And that's I love seeing that. He's a talented football player. So
Yeah.
I know we always talk about offers as we roll down, talk about all that stuff, but when you see him, you're like, he's freaking good, man. I instantly thought of Matty Augustine, just the size, his movement, and things of that nature. I think he really is surprising when you first watch his football film.
Yeah,
Like,
and looking at his recruitment.
his feet. I just keep going back to his feet. He's not a big clogger, meaning just slow, methodical drive blocker. He's got pistons, man. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's something that really stuck out to Joe Rudolph, how his feet are just always moving on the blocks.
Yep. Talk about his recruitment a little bit. He camped at Notre Dame for Irish Invasion back in June. Had a good start to his junior season. Notre Dame kept tabs on him, and I think the Notre Dame staff knew, hey, if we offer him, there's a really good chance we get this kid. So he visited for, I want to say it was the Louisville game in September, got the offer, and then Garvin, I want to say he visited again for the Ohio State game. And then it seemed, no, the Virginia game was the 16th, I believe. So he visited for the Virginia game on the 16th, and it was pretty much a lock at that point. Just get up at Notre Dame. Took a couple more visits to round out the regular season, and then go ahead and locking in a commitment. He announced to the staff, at least on Sunday, privately to the coaching staff, and then announcing it a day after National Signing Day. So that is the commitment. Sullivan Garvin, Tim, 2026 class for the Irish, looking, I would say, pretty good early on with 5 commitments. Now you got your quarterback in Noah Grubbs, a big-time linebacker in Thomas Davis Jr., a cornerback in Chaston Smith, who looks fantastic on tape, and then Dylan Faison, the younger brother of Jordan Faison, a wide receiver who the staff absolutely loves. So it seems like 5 strong gets for Notre Dame early in this 2026 cycle.
Oh yeah, I mean the cycle's off to a good start. Just I mean you just laid it out there perfectly. You got your quarterback, right? You got a speed receiver, you got a really good corner. You got your first offensive lineman. Obviously, Notre Dame historically gets linemen early, so this is without a doubt a good get. As you were just talking, I just keep watching him. He just gets after it, man. His hand placement is really impressive. The more you watch him, and like I said, I've watched this a handful of times. It's nice just to see him, with his punch. He's a strong guy. So really looking forward to seeing him. And then lastly, with the O-line, as you know, they have offered, I mean, they've been pretty aggressive with some guys. So this could be, Notre Dame has had really good offensive linemen the last few years, right? They've had a 5-star. You go from Fisher to Wagner to Jagasaw, obviously to Will Black. Emil Wagner was an on-3 5-star. So every year there's somebody. And their O-line recruiting, I know, but with you and obviously Kyle Kelly's talked about a lot as well, is it's a talented offer list that Notre Dame has sent out so far.
Yeah. Speaking of offer list, Garvin picking Notre Dame over schools like Purdue, Indiana, Cincinnati, Kansas, Washington, an interesting one, and then a few group of 5 schools. So Sullivan Garvin, early eval by Notre Dame, and one that the staff feels really good about. So that is going to do it for this video, folks. Please hit the thumbs up on it. Subscribe to the channel for more content. Like I said earlier, head over to blueandgold.com for more coverage on this commitment. And if you missed any articles on National Signing Day, blueandgold.com, check it all out there. Appreciate you all for watching. And as always, we will catch you next time.